Actually, the real reason for Trisha's concern was the reluctance of the bus conductor to permit her to stay inside the bus throughout the night. She pleaded with the conductor several times, but the obstinate and stubborn conductor refused repeatedly. At last, finding no way to convince that man, Trisha gave up and started walking straight on the street. We are very familiar with the phrase, "cities never sleep." But this phenomenon at this hour proved very unrealistic to Trisha. During her walk, she noticed a deserted city street. The only echo she could hear was of her own heels produced. It was not that she wasn't afraid, but she didn't have any other alternative. After walking for 5 minutes, she saw some people were sitting on the pavement, and apparently they were preparing to sleep on the pavement. Trisha, being a young girl all alone, hesitated to talk about anything to them, but she realized that these were the only people who could help her in this distressful situation. She went to them and asked them politely to help her in this distressful situation by taking her to the nearest railway station. The initial reaction of these men frightened Trisha a bit, but she stood there firmly, showing no symptoms of her inner turbulence. Two of these men, as observed by Trisha, were young and quite strong-built. They proceeded to accompany her up to the nearest railway station. During their walk, Trisha noticed one of the boys was quiet. He didn't say anything unnecessarily and tried to maintain his composure. Trisha thought about the mystery of fate, how it plays with mankind. A young and stable man who didn't have any home and was about to sleep on the footpath appeared as a shock to Trisha. She hadn't seen these boys completely. Dim lights of the street didn't let her have a complete knowledge about these two wanderers who at once agreed to help her. It was hard for Trisha to walk quietly. She was a very talkative girl. This time she was in distress, but she was not ready to be devoid of her natural instincts. She enthusiastically asked the boys about their name and introduction. One of the boys replied happily, but the other one was speechless. Trisha thought that at least she had got one with whom she could talk. She talked with one of her companions a lot. While talking unknowingly, she felt that she had talked with this person earlier too. She told the person about her misfortune, how she missed the bus and how the conductor obstinately refused her requests. She had already told the man about the cause of her coming here, but to her astonishment, the man didn't react as she had hoped. She tried hard to look at the faces of her co-walkers. She succeeded in watching the face of her talkative companion, but she failed miserably in the case of another one. That man had an athlete-like figure and had worn a cap that made the dim light of the street impossible to fall on his face. His face became a symbol of mystery to Trisha. She couldn't hold back her curiosity to know the other one. The first one appeared very familiar to her. And even his talking tune and style also felt very familiar to her. She grew quite impatient to see this mystery face. This time she particularly indicated the mystery man to initiate conversation. But to her surprise, the man didn't respond and continued to walk as usual. She asked another man about this mystery man, but his reply also astonished her. As she was told, this man is an idiot who dreams of nothing but one, wants none but one, protects none but one. This type of complicated answer confused Trisha. She thought, "I'm not a good student of mathematics," and laughed slowly. Despite her talkative, childish behavior, she understood something, and her thoughts started taking shape with their gradual walking towards the railway junction. She unknowingly hoped for that mystery face to be of him. She tried to be confident that the mystery man was none but Rohan. Yes, Rohan was her classmate whom she had admired since her school life. But now they have already graduated from college. They don't have any communication anymore. Sometimes she tried to talk to Rohan, but she couldn't, as her inner instincts prevented her from taking such steps. She could well recall the incident of how her friends used to irritate her using Rohan's name. During those days, she refuted all those explicitly, but unbeknownst to her she developed an admiration for him. Yes, he was not a very intelligent student, but his composed look and benign behavior attracted her the most. Many times she had even thought of talking to him, but a womanly hesitation stopped her every time. To the outside world, she was a very talkative and energetic girl who never thought of anything else. But internally and naturally she was a delicate and tender girl who also had many aspirations, wishes and life. In her dream, though hidden from others, she had built a small cottage with Rohan. She dreamt of him. She knew her desire might not be realized, but she was not ready to abandon her dream. While her mind kept itself busy in remembering the past and weaving the future, they were about to reach her destination. Suddenly her exhausted legs brought her out of her reverie. Noticing those large letters written on the top of the junction, she became quite comfortable and relaxed. She thought about her co-walkers who had accompanied her up to here. On reaching, her compassion for those homeless persons appeared more intense. She opened her purse and hoped to give some rewards to them. Suddenly she realized that now she could see the face of that mystery man, but to her disappointment those persons had disappeared even before she could look at her surroundings. But a strange comfort she felt. She felt that she was being protected. She was being watched. Someone from somewhere was watching her, secretly protecting her. She felt an inner solace at this thought. She waited for nearly 2 hours, then the train arrived. She got boarded and somehow managed a very comfortable seat. After sitting on the berth, she was thanking those unknown companions, then suddenly her inner instincts made her feel that those two homeless persons were also in the same compartment. This time she didn't hold back her curiosity. She started looking at every co-passenger's face very attentively. Some passengers found it very hilarious, and some others found it annoying. Few even saw her actions as acts of a mentally unstable woman, but she was adamant. After nearly scrutinizing every co-passenger, she saw two persons were trying to look outside and were standing at the gate. It was hard for her to look at their faces. That was what she determinedly held the sleeve of one man and pulled him inside. Looking at the face of that man, she was shocked. It was Rattan, who was one of her co-walkers. She asked Rattan, "What are you doing here? Where is your partner?" Rattan tried to clarify something, but at an instant she also did the same with another person. This time she couldn't believe her eyes. Yes, it was Rohan. Unknowingly she felt terribly emotional. She started developing a deep huff inside. This sudden change of this girl from a strange face looker to an embodiment of emotions also drew the attention of other passengers. She rushed back to her seat and covered her face with her hands. Perhaps she didn't want to show something to others. Yes, the confusion or uncertainty that dominated Rohan's thoughts was removed at an instant. He was uncertain whether she loved him or not, but now he didn't need any more clarification. He didn't need any more proof. Those glistening teardrops on her cheeks clarified everything. Those trembling rosy lips proved everything. He wanted nothing more. He slowly proceeded towards her. He found her in a different state. A girl who never showed any emotions to others suddenly failed to wipe the water drops rolling down her cheeks. She had covered her face so tightly that it took Rohan a few minutes to open its curtain and look at the face of a precious jewel. No, she didn't look at him directly. She tried hard to control her emotions, but seeing him in front of became uncontrollable to her. Her co-passengers might have found it entirely unbelievable how an energetic, talkative girl suddenly turned into an ocean of huff and emotional. Rohan held her face and told her, "I'm not going to leave you alone. You thought you would be alone, but you didn't know I have never left you alone. I am not an idiot who would risk his most precious pearl." Trisha couldn't utter anything. Deep inside her mind, in all probability, she had found an intrinsic comfort. It didn't take her 2 minutes to fall asleep because she knew she was being protected and watched. In the early morning she woke up, but this morning was completely different for her. Why would it not be? She woke up to embrace this new morning as her dream was fulfilled. She didn't think about family problems. She didn't think about her father's consent. The only thing she thought about at that hour was the realization of this unprecedented desire. She welcomed this new morning with grace and love. She saw her dreamt face was sleeping innocently just by her side. This extent fulfilled, she felt herself that it even appeared as a dream to her. She prayed to God, "If it's a dream, then don't wake me up. Don't let the sun rise. Let me sleep with this dream forever." Trisha reached home at 11 a.m., but on her way home she didn't say a single word to Rohan. Rohan understood her wish. He only followed her until she reached home. Trisha's father for the first time saw his daughter, who was completely different from the one who had gone to the city. He was a quite wise person. He understood everything. He waited for the right time. After 14 days, a proposal came for Trisha. It was a proposal from Rohan's family. Once Trisha was told about the proposal, a soft and charming smile covered her face. Her father had got the answer. She didn't know whether her family accepted the proposal or not, but she was convinced that they would accept it. That night her excitement didn't let her sleep. Even her stretching appeared to adjust itself substantially. Her mind started weaving thousands of dreams she had dreamt earlier. She could hold her enthusiasm. She tried to be a mature woman, but she couldn't, as nature had endowed her with lively instincts. She recalled how their first meeting occurred. She had newly joined another school at the age of 14. She was a teenager. Various psychological and physical changes had started taking shape. These were remolding her rapidly. She knew that these transformations were biological and natural. She was a quite pretty girl who was capable of drawing the attention of bystanders. A dusky, sun-kissed complexion added more charm to her. While she was standing with her newly made friends, she had seen for the first time Rohan, one meticulously composed and quiet boy, who always appeared very serious about everything. Even the teachers also praised the boy for his organized behavior. She had never any idea that she would ever admire this person who was completely opposite to her in behavior. She even reacted angrily to any comments thrown at her about Rohan. Her friends used to irritate her by mentioning Rohan's name. She had rebuffed them for that, but now she wanted them to address her as his beloved. She herself couldn't believe this transformation that she had undergone. Indeed, superficially she was a lively, talkative, energetic girl, but deep inside she was very sensitive. She knew her weaknesses. That was why she repeatedly refused to entertain any such thoughts. But in a corner of her heart, her young emotions started developing a deep admiration for him. She many times tried to reject the idea of such compartmentalism. But for now the Almighty provided her everything she had desired for. That night appeared to her a heavenly gift. She wanted to relive the night again and again. Her young sibling Rita tried to irk her. She told Trisha, "The proposal came for you. Father has rejected that." Though it could have been a tremendous shock to Trisha, a naughty smile on Rita's face made her realize the truth. This time she handled her younger sibling differently. She would have beaten Rita had it happened earlier. But now she was a transformed one who could handle the situation more calmly. Her father witnessed this miraculous change of his daughter's behavior. He comprehended it. They were about to get married 1 week later. These 7 days were like an era for Trisha. She couldn't force the hands of a clock to run faster, otherwise she would have done so. That lively girl, who had never hidden anything from others, now appeared to hold a wavy ocean of secrets inside. Yes, she would never share this with anyone. She thought the thoughts of his were her personal property, and she would never share it. She recently got to know how important notes had usually been found in her bag, though she hadn't asked anyone for those. But apparently she liked this surprise. She also wanted this mystery to be a mystery. Her father didn't have any doubt on the credibility of this phenomenon. Look at the face of someone who gets the thing that someone desires. You will find a heavenly and pure satisfaction and happiness in that face. Trisha felt herself becoming a different one. She didn't have any objection to this transformation. She prayed to God for this, and God accepted her prayer and rewarded her to keep alive her pure, lively soul. Thank God.